All right, we are live. Welcome everybody to PRL round 4 for Tier 2, coming from you from France. I'll just mute my own phone so I don't hear myself again. Sorry about that. Looks like we only have 13 drivers today, but we've got 13 serious competitors out there. Looks like it's greyish skies at the moment, but it's dry for the time being, but we'll see what happens during the course of the weekend. This is qualifying. It will be followed by a sprint race, which is 9 laps, I want to say. I could be wrong. And then a 50% race after that. So this just sets the grid for the sprint. And after that, I'm joined today in the comments box by KD. How are you going today, KD? What do you think about France?
Thank you for having me, Ozzy. France, Circuit Paul Ricard, it's a interesting track. I mean, it's not really the most exciting racetrack, as we all know, on the modern Formula One schedule, or was, I should say, as we won't have that in 2023 as for the upcoming season. But I know in the online spectrum, it actually does produce some decent racing. But for us to be a sprint for this occasion, I'm intrigued to see how this will fare as well.
Yeah, for sure. In real life, it doesn't always produce the most exciting Grand Prix, but on the game, I reckon it's one of the more fun ones for battling and overtaking, as long as it doesn't turn into one giant DRS train as it can do, because there's a couple of long DRS straights here. If everyone's still packed together, it might be a bit of cat and mouse with DRS management, but we'll see what unfolds. But I think it's going to be a great Grand Prix today. Looks like Kev Cow is going to be the first one to start his hot lap. He's coming up towards the end of his out lap at the moment. Just before I start there, I'm just going to run through the current championship order for the Drivers' Championship. The top 10 is seriously close to the top 5 guys. At the moment, we've got Metro in P1 on 62 points, Pelosi in P2 on 54, J-Dog on 54 in P3, Kev Cow also on 54 in P4, and we've got Maddie McNasty on 53 points in P5. So that's less than 10 points between the top 5 drivers. And just behind them we've got Ships on 41. And Ships did actually win the last Tier 2 France race. I don't think we did France last season, but in Season 2 we did. So he's come into it with some form, as he did also win in USA last. Actually, no, sorry, he came second after penalties. Matty McNasty took the win by like 0.2 of a second under penalties last time out at the USA. So Kev Cow's coming up to the chicane now. I'm not very good with all these corner names on most of these circuits, and here in particular. He's gone to the back straight after the DRS, after he's gone through the chicane. He's got purple sector 1, obviously, on sector 2, because he's the first one to set a time. So he's looking pretty clean so far, but we'll see what time he produces, what sort of benchmark we get.
Yeah, pretty much as well with Circuit Paul Ricard, like you mentioned as well, ERS management will be also a crucial thing. I know for a track like this in particular, if you use up quite a bit of your battery, it's very hard to regain it all back. But anyway,
Kev Cow crosses the line now. 131.4, that's a solid baseline to start with. There's a Red Bull that's going to cross the line next. I think it's Metro. And Metro slots in behind him with 134. He must have had some sort of mistake that lap, or he's going for a double warm-up. Who's next? Got a Ferrari.
Might be Doggy, I think, or no, Ploidy will be starting his flying lap.
Right, yeah, so Ploy's just started the flying lap, going through sector 1 now.
Oh,
Oh,
never
he's
mind.
spun it through the
Nope, never.
turn 3.
Yep.
And
Well,
it's
McNally's
like
about to
Nadia
start. I think about
Minasi,
to.
he's about to end his line, yeah, race line, yep. Qualifying lap,
Yep.
sorry. And he gets
That's
himself up
right.
into
So
P3.
32-3. Not too bad. Probably could find a bit more time, I assume. Matt AU,
In
31-5.
P2, just behind his teammate, 1-2 for AlphaTauri at the moment. Pelosi up into P4, 31-9. And Laterals pops up into P6, 133.3. Dasher D is just starting the hot lap. I think Doggy's the next one to finish a hot lap.
Deary me,
He
he missed
goes very
all those
wide,
corners there.
yeah.
Turns 1 and 2. Yeah, he might be not running too much front downforce, I'm assuming, because you definitely need that for those first sector. Yeah.
Yeah, this track is pretty tough on the tyre wear too. Lots of sweeping corners, back to back. Not much of a time for the tyre to cool back down, so you will want to be running pretty low tyre pressure here. But you will be pretty high on the tyre wear. Still, a one-stop strategy is generally the fastest in this game, no matter what the track, I believe. But we'll see what eventuates with safety cars and the like. But safety cars here at Port Card are on the rarer side because there's just so much of a runoff. There's not many places where you can find the walls in DNF.
Yeah, not too many areas. Definitely, yeah, I barely see any safety cars around this place in
Looks like
particular.
Dasher D is on a hot lap and he's catching up to the back of the McLaren Alaro. I think he's getting a little bit blocked.
Lateral might be in his way. Yep, and Dash is
He's
backed out of
backed
his
off
lap.
it. I was about to say he was getting a bit of a tow in the before that down the straight, but then Lowell just kept going and didn't move.
Yeah. Well, Chris is about to start his lap, so I guess tell you what, we can probably go on board and maybe give a little bit of a lap guide around Circuit Beauregard as he opens DRS, heading down towards turn 1. Reaching peak speed, 332 kilometers an hour, down to 5th gear as he makes his way through turns 1 and 2. And then into turn number 3, heading up towards turn 3. And braking just before the 50-meter board, down to 5th gear, clipping the apex there, into turn 4, and then into turn 5. It's a very tricky traction area. You got to be very careful there at turn 5. Around turn 6, then heading up towards turn 7, as it's apparently purple to the first sector as well. A little bit edgy there through leading up to the Mistral Straight. Now down the Mistral Straight, the back straightaway, opening DRS, heading up towards now the chicane of turns 8, 9, and 10. Down to 4th gear, clips the apex there and down the inside, and of both corners, I should say.
Well, you've definitely done your research and have more experience on commentary and knowing the track and corner names than me.
Yeah.
I'll just leave it to you to keep this lap going.
Alright, they're seeing corner
Always
flat out.
invalidated.
It's a bit, yeah, I was going to mention about, seeing corners are very flat in the drive and the wet. It's very, very tricky. But yeah, no, I've done commentary in the past as well. So, yeah. So obviously,
it's a shame for my Chris. Invalidating and taking too much curve or cutting the track a bit, weight or a fair bit too much there. On the whatever corner you said it was.
Scene corner. It's the flat out right-hander. Turn 10.
Label has improved his time, but he stayed in P7. He must have gone for another flyer. He gained about 7 tenths, but he stayed in P7. Looks like most of the boys are in the pits. Employees on the outlap again. I think Cab Cow just started another hot lap.
That might be one of the Red Bulls just getting out of the way. Yeah, it's straight off just getting out of the way. Fair enough. I mean, probably it makes sense why a lot of them are not coming out of the pits just quite yet, is because you do use 3 sets of softs for qualifying in the sprint, so it makes a lot of sense. And maybe just waiting for time to go down, let the track evolve with the rubber on it, and just go forward, obviously, later into the session.
Yeah, for sure.
Floydies I'm on board with him. He's coming through the first sector, coming through turns 3 and turn 4, down to third gear. Nicely done through there, clipping the apex there, turn 5, up towards now turn 6. It's a bit tricky, gotta be careful with the throttle if you, very tricky with no traction. I hope I'm not taking too much of your time though, Ozzy.
No, that's all good.
I'm not trying to.
I'm jumping back on board with Kev Cow at the moment. He's currently in P1 and he's on his second fly lap. He's coming into sector 3 now. He just did a purple sector 2, so he's gone in faster. I'm not sure how much he's up though, because I didn't have the correct information up on the screen, but he's got a couple of corners left to negotiate now. And he's decided to go into the pits.
Yeah, he missed that apex quite badly there at the penultimate corner. So
let's go back down to Poity. Yet to set a time. Gets around there rather nicely, goes onto the runoff strips. Doesn't go too wide to invalidate, shifts down, kisses the apex, lovely there. It misses the apex there a little bit slow, perhaps getting on the power. But now he's full bore on the run to the line. He's going to set a 1:31.6 and jumps himself up into P3. Nice lap from Poity there.
Yeah, not too bad. That's pretty good. Just only about less than 2/10 off, but we'll have to wait and see how this procession progresses. Excuse me.
So Pawlowski said in the stream, go Aston Martins. So he's cheering himself and Nyquist on in the stream while he's driving at the same time. Speaking of Pawlowski, he's also on his second flying lap now. He's up by 2/10 of a second, a little bit over 2/10. Currently in P5. So if he can continue his progression on, he's looking at a P3 or P2 perhaps, if he can hold the rest of the lap together. But he's gone very wide there through wherever that corner was again. And he's come out to finish his lap as J-Dog takes P1 off Kev Cow for the time being, goes into a provisional pole with 1:31.406. And Pawlowski's opening DRS on his run to the line now. What sort of lap time is he going to set? Is it still going to improve? He does improve by almost 3/10, but he stays in P5 still.
Yeah.
I think Metro just finished another lap 2 himself into P6. There's a few boys in the pits. Looks like Dasher D's on the flying lap again after getting blocked on his first attempt by Laurel, it looked like. Coming through sector 3 now.
But if it helps you as well, there's only 2 core names in this track. The scene core, like I mentioned, in turn 10, and then turn 11, that sweeping right-hander, that's called a Bossier. But you don't have to call it that, obviously, if you like.
Yep. Dasher D is about to cross the line now. He gets himself into P7 with a solid lap of 1:32.1. And Ships out of nowhere. I was about to say, where's Ships at? Ooh. And he absolutely smashed it out of the park. That was his first lap time on the board. I don't know if he had another attempt earlier or just waiting. As I said, Ships did win the last Tier 2 race at France for PRL. I think it was in Season 2. We didn't race here last season, from memory. So he's coming here with some form, and he had a very solid race in USA 2, coming home in P2, mainly because he had some penalties by like 2/10 of a second to Matty McNasty, who's surprising that Natty McNasty's all the way down in P9 at the moment, but he's on an outlap now. I've had the feeling he's going to be able to find some time for sure and jump up a handful of spots. Very fast and new driver to the PRL community, Natty McNasty.
I like that name too, Natty McNasty. That's funny.
Nasty Pasty, I think Danny Rick was calling him the other day.
Yeah, not bad.
This Purple Snack still hasn't set a lap time for himself, and he's invalidated in this latest attempt. Kev Cow is going again. Coming up into sector 3 as well. There's about 5 minutes of qualifying left, I think. Last time I saw the time, oh no, it's only 3 minutes 45. In between all the yellow flags, it's hard to see the timer sometimes. As he's coming up to the end of the lap now. And he's in Valde just there. He's trying to get himself back into the pits. Is he
I think he'll get disqualified.
Well, that was risky.
Oh, he got away with it. I'm surprised by that. Yeah, normally when that happens, you get disqualified, but there you go.
He's got 3 minutes and 15 seconds left to try and get another lap on the board. He might have just found a loophole in the rules. We might have to inspect the rule book after this, if that was entirely illegal or not, but he's got away with it from being disqualified in the game at least. Anyway.
I don't think it would be allowed even in real life.
Ships is about to start a new hot lap. We're already in P1, but I'm going to jump onto, well, never mind. I was going to jump back onto Natty McNasty, but he looks like he's had a spin coming towards the straight. So this lap won't do anything for him.
Yeah, he still has time to go for another run. Oh, his shift is fun as well, as I run on board with him at the exit of turn 2.
And just jumped back on board with purple. He's got a fuel light flashing. I don't think he's pushing, but he's yet to do a lap. Actually, he's gone across the line, but I think he's very low on fuel, so it's not going to be a world beater. But at least he's going to get a time on the board. 133.6. Yep. He pulls over out of the way. Right. J-Dog is in P2 at the moment. He's about to finish, or no, he's about to start a flying lap.
Chris is doing a little bit of adventurous little lines at turns 1 and 2. He's cutting a bit of the track, and as he does the same thing.
We've got less than a minute and a half to go in qualifying. J-Dog has started the flying lap now. He's currently in P2. He's a little bit of over 2 tenths off Ships' best time. Let's see if we can find enough to grab back provisional pole, as there'll be others behind them still finishing the hot laps later on. There's a few drivers on out laps, but I think J-Dog will be the next of the leading contenders to finish a flying lap. Currently running down the back straight.
Yeah, Ships has also gone back into the pits and retired as well, so he's not going to improve whatsoever on his current runs.
Well, we only got 1 lap on the board that was good enough to take provisional pole, so maybe that's what he's going to need, as I didn't catch the interval there with J-Dog.
He was down by 74 thousandths, but he improved a little bit on his time, just a little bit. Let's see, 2 more corners to negotiate for the Red Bull, as Dash is also retired. I think that, has he crashed? I think he's crashed at turn 1, because his car's stationary. Interesting. J-Dog about to cross the line. Now he's not going to improve on that lap.
Okay, iChris has his qualifying done and dusted as well, currently in P3. Got KevCow in P4, still going for it. Metro's in P5, he's finished his qualifying for now. Matty AU's also still on the flyer. Matty AU is the leader, the current leader out of the 2 AlphaTauris on track, so he's going to finish his lap first. As Poity jumped himself up into P2 with a 131.2. Sorry I missed that, Poity. These are the last couple guys to finish their laps now, I believe. And remember, the saying sets the grid for the sprint race, and the sprint race will set the grid for the feature 50% up. Matty was up by nearly 2 tenths through the second detection point. Is he going to be able to crime some spots on the grid?
Looking good. 30.9.
Oh,
wow.
He takes pole position provisionally. He's still got his teammate behind him, and J-Dog as well. I think that's qualifying done. And Dusted, okay, Dash has made a comment on the stream. I
Oh,
literally barely got
he
my
validated
outlap
those laps.
invalidated. Third last corner, and it invalidated my next lap too.
Oh, that explains why your car was at turn 1. He's retired on track, and then the car pulled over to the marshal post. That makes sense. I thought he crashed.
Alright, so Maddie AU currently in 8th in the standings, but not far off the leaders. Anyone down to P10 can technically take the lead in the championship today with 41 points on offer. Followed by Ships in P2, I believe it was.
Yep. And
So Maddie, Ships, Poity in P3. Nice qualifying from Poity in the Ferrari, and we got the Red Bull J-Dog in P4. Now, interesting fact about J-Dog, he's actually on holiday in Japan at the moment, and he's brought his PS5 with him halfway around the world just to participate in these races while he's on holiday. So that's a mad commitment from J-Dog. So last season he went on holiday and missed about a handful of races, and that's cost him dearly in the championship, so he doesn't want to miss out on too much action this time around.
I will give him respect for that.
P5 for the Aston Martin of Icarus, P6 for Kevin Cow, P7 for Metro, and the rest were what they were, and I was too slow at reading it.
Alright, you didn't get a weather report, have you? Out of curiosity.
So what was that?
You didn't get a weather report?
No, I haven't got a weather report. If anyone's on the stream and wants to tell us the weather for the sprint and it looks like it's going to be dry for the sprint and the feature, that would be wonderful. Or it could just be a surprise when we get there.
Well, it's clear from what it looks like for the sprint.
Yeah, it looks clear for the sprint.
Yeah, probably gonna assume that they'll be that way the entire way.
Just waiting
oh,
for
rain maybe in the sprint since F1 Fanatic.
Well, it doesn't look very rainy at the moment, so there might be something developing towards the end of the race. There's no formation lap. I believe we're going to go straight into it on 5 lights. I got a weird glitch. I got no sound. And they're away. There we go. Now I got sound. Looks like Matty AU's going to hold on to P1 out into turn 1. And like Poy's got himself into P2. Just hangs around the outside of Icarus. He runs a bit wide. It opens the door to Icarus. Looks like Ships has lost out on a few spots down to P4. He's under attack from... This is J-Dog. And there's a bit of a gap to Pawlowski. And there's a gaggle of cars battle between Lateral and Metro.
Oh, Metro a 5-second penalty. Interesting.
Cutting the corner and gaining a spot. Oh dear. Yeah, there's a big yellow car towards the back of the field here. Let's flick back up to the top for a moment. Is anyone making a move up here? Ships is very close to the back of Icarus, but not quite close enough. Further back, got Doggy and Purple battling. Let's go get some telemetry and stuff up.
Oh, Purple's lagging a lot for me on my end. I don't know if he's that way for you.
At the moment he seems okay, but we'll see what happens later on there.
Interesting. Yeah, not bad stuff from Matty, but a bit of a poor start from Ships, losing 2 spots off the opening lap, but nothing too major at least.
So everyone's on the medium tyres as you would expect. Matty AU has pulled over a second gap over Porty already, so he's out of the DRS threat for the moment. As Natty McNasty's having a look on the inside lateral into turn 1, and he gets that move done very nicely. Great overtake from Matty into P8. That's opened the door for Metro behind as well on the run to turn 4. Looks like Metro's just streezed himself past as well.
There's a little bit of a moment there coming out of turn 6 there, Metro. in the back end.
Jumping on board with KevCow for the moment. He's pretty much pushing J-Dog through that chicane, but it cost him a lot of time. It was right on the back of him. He's now dropped back like 8 tenths. So I don't think there's anything going to be eventuating there for the time being. But yeah, great opening lap and a half from Matty AU from pole position. Got a great getaway. Wasn't really under challenge in the turn one. And has been able to pull over a second gap to Porty when Porty's may come under pressure from iChris, as DRS will be enabled from the start of this lap. Further back down the field. Okay, yeah. The Metro's had a moment there and it's fallen down the order. But yeah, it was a very clean opening lap there. I didn't see any major contact. It was a few little nudges off the track and the like, but everyone survived it.
Yeah, and pretty much also not really 8 big winners and losers apart from being the biggest loser being Metro losing 6 spots after a spin. But other than that, no, it looked like everyone get through relatively fine, like you just said. Chris, meanwhile, might employ the pressure on Ploidy as they make their way through turns 6 and 7. 6 tenths is the gap. He'll have DRS down the back straightaway. But I don't think he'll be quite close enough to attack.
Oh, he's closing, but not quite enough on this occasion. And he's also dragging ships along behind him in P4. So yeah, like you said, there's only been a few spots gained or lost by everyone. No one's really gained a massive amount of spots. The biggest being 2 spots for Chris and Doggy. So yeah, Metro's the only one that's had a bit of a shocking sprint race so far. As further back, it looks like there's a bit of a battle developing between KevCow, Pulowski, J-Dog, and Matty's pulling up to the back of this battle pack as well. As KevCow almost sent it on J-Dog there. Thought better of it.
Jeez, J-Dog got a massive amount of traction at the exit of the bottom corner. Gained like maybe a couple of tenths out of that. Jeez.
Well, KevCow does run full traction, so he's probably definitely would bog him down on some occasions coming out of corners.
That makes sense.
But it seems to work pretty well for him. He's like, I'm surprised anyone can be as fast as KevCow is with full traction. That's further up. It looks like Ships is all over the back of iChris now on the run down the back straight. They've both got DRS. Chris was just within DRS zone of as we got a yellow flag. Looks like Dash has had a spin, dropping positions.
Yep. Oh, he's up for session too. Not great luck, but hopefully he'll be able to join back.
Pelosi and KevCow are going wheel to wheel now. And Pelosi takes the inside line and gets that move done and dusted.
Yep. There's a move there at turn 10.
Quite a few battle packs going on. Hard to keep a track of everything. There's 4 cars in this group and 3 further up in the battle for the podium places. Looks like Matty AU is running away with the race a little bit, managing it very nicely. How's his ERS looking? He's still got 55%, so he's managing his ERS pretty well. The other guys behind him have roughly 50 to 70%, so they're all still got some chocolates in the goodie bags to deploy later when they see an opportunity. But yeah, Ship seems way faster than iChris through these first few corners. He gets right on his gearbox on the run to the detection point. I think Chris maybe got a little bit loose mid-corner there. But Chris still has DRS on Employee. His Ship's going to get close enough to send it into the chicane. Not quite again. Just tucks in behind. Lots of racing experience between these two boys. And respect, mutual respect. So I don't think there's going to be any crazy dive bombs in that particular battle. Meanwhile, Kowalski has pulled a little bit of a gap on Kev Cow, and now Matty McNasty is looking to take advantage as Kev Cow goes a bit deep in the mid part of the sweeper. That holds onto it.
But it seems like a little bit though when Shifts goes down the straight, it seems like he's carrying a little bit less weight than Chris, I've noticed. But let's see. Oh, as he loses at the back end of the edge of the foul corner. Does he get close? Well, he's not going to close enough on this occasion because Chris has also got DRS to at least keep him at bay.
Yeah, this is what I feared may happen. A few DRS trains have. Ooh, he gets it loose there up ahead, Chris. So we're in a lovely camera, helicopter cam shot through these few corners on the run to the straight. You can see how much that Ships is closing in on the back of him on the run to the back straight.
And Chris doesn't have DRS on this occasion. Does Ships go for it? The answer is nah, not quite.
As Pelosi goes for a move on J-Dog and gets himself into P5. There's now further back Metro and Purple having a bit of a battle. Looks like Metro got past Purple just then. Dash is no longer here. Ooh, J-Dog was fighting back on Pelosi. Is he going to send it to the inside here? Not quite. These guys have no battery left, or not much battery left at all in this battle. Ooh, Kev Cow got very close to the back of J-Dog once again there. Almost got some contact.
Yep. Hanging around far corner now, down towards the main straight. Ooh, just a bit wide though for Kevin, but yeah. And then doesn't really get the greatest acceleration because, as you mentioned, he does run TC. I can definitely tell from the way he mashes the throttle at exit certain turns. Not quite close enough though. Oh, nearly goes into the back of the Red Bull there.
Ships is looking even closer to Chris this time around, and Chris doesn't have the advantage of DRS anymore. This might be the time for the move for P3. It looks like he's going to be. He's on the battery, got DRS. Chris is starting to run a little bit low on energy, so he had no defense free for that one. This Kev Cow is looking to the inside of J-Dog. So they come into the chicane. Oh, he gets on the
contact.
Was there contact, or he just got on the apex curve there?
A little bit. I thought there was. I mean, I just got onto them, but I thought there was contact between both of them.
Yeah, I was looking from off board, and the camera cut away to the front of the corner, and you just saw them both come to the shot, and then saw Kev Cow spin. He looked like he was on the curve quite a lot there, so unsure. We'll find out later.
Yeah, top two still.
Looks like Claudia has closed the gap a bit on Maddie, but still not in the DRS range. Maddie has considerable ERS. As Pacific Racing League says, so you can still spin using full traction, eh? Apparently you can.
Yeah, apparently you can. I mean, you never know with these cars, especially how traction limited they are as well.
As Ships has closed the gap on Ploidy, but he's running a bit low on the old ERS. He's 8 tenths back. I don't think he's going to be able to get the move done on this occasion, but he's going to close the gap. Yeah, hey Danny.
Yeah, hey Danny.
Doggy's had a great race. Doggy's up 4 positions, and I haven't really been on board with Doggy much. I reckon he might be the driver of the sprint so far. He's on the back of Maddie. As Ploidy goes a bit wide there. allowing ships to close in even more so. It's about half a second the gap. Aston Martin have a solid sprint in the P4 and P5. That's going to do them a world of good in the Constructors' Championship. In the sprint races, points down to P10. There's only 10 to 1, so P1 will get 10 points, P10 will get 1 point, and it will run down from there. The main points will be available, of course, in the feature race. Will be 30 points for a win, and 23 for second, 20 for third, and so on and so forth. But yeah, Ships has closed right in on Ploidy, but Ploidy has got into the DRS range of Maddie. As Doggy picks up a 3-second time penalty, that's gonna cost him the spot to J-Dog. It's across the detention point.
Got DRS on this occasion.
It's the final lap. The sprint has flown by. We're on the final lap. Ploy just fell out of DRS to Maddie there. He was like right around that second margin, but yeah, Ships running a bit low on the tyre grip, and ERS wasn't quite able to get the move done there, but he's very close now. He's within 2.5 temps. Is he gonna send a move around the sweepers here?
Oh, Doggy's in the barrier. Oh dear. Oh, there's the chicane.
Ships is sending it on Ploy. Oh, dear. Ships got a bit of a loose on the traction there. Wow. Yeah, Ships had a massive moment there when we were side by side, and then Ploy had to take a boarding action. That's let Ships through. Would think Ploy wouldn't be very happy about that one, but I don't think there was any contact. Oh, it's 40 out of fuel. He's slowing down massively towards the line. Let's put Ships up. Let's put Chris up in the P3.
Unlucky.
Well, that was a dramatic end to the sprint race for the fight for P2. That was a ballsy and brilliant maneuver from Ships, but yeah, he lost traction midway through the overtake, and that caused Ploy to take avoiding action, also lose traction, get off track. I don't think there was any contact between the two, but it was mighty close. And Ploy ran out of fuel anyway, but still managed to hold on to P4, so that's a good starting position for the feature race to come. Chris can't believe his luck, and he's managed to get a podium in the sprint race because Ploy ran out of fuel. And as I said, there was a strong race from Aston Martin with Polsky in P5. Red Bull, the current Constructors' Championship leaders, had a bit of a sprint to forget. And I think I cursed Doggy because I said he was the driver of the sprint, and then he picked up a penalty and he crashed on the last lap of the sprint. So sorry, Doggy.
See, Danny, you're not the only one that does it.
Right. So we'll be heading into the feature race momentarily. There will be no formation lap again, like the sprint. Hopefully the camera to start with doesn't glitch out with the sound on that, like the sprint did just then.
Alright, so it's looking like it's dry on this sort of occasion as well. I don't see a single cloud in the sky.
Well, it is a longer race, so like I said, something could develop later on, but it's not looking very likely at the moment. I have a feeling it's going to be a full dry weekend. So we'll just wait for the computer to sort itself out.
So what would you do in this sort of occasion? Sorry, go ahead.
No, you go, sorry.
I was going to ask you, like, what strategy would you do? Would you go for a medium hard, or would you go for a hard medium for this sort of a track like this?
I normally go medium hard pretty much regardless, just because of the safety car risk, but on this track it's probably the opposite, because it's very rare that you're going to get a safety car. As the lights out and away we go, Matty AU gets another brilliant start. Ships bogs down again in P2. He's already down to P6, P7. Oh, he's lost a stack of time and positions there. As Further up ahead, they get through cleanly, but Ships has a spin on turn 1 from P2 down to the back as Chris and Ploy are going side by side. And Ploy again, this is like exactly the same as the main race, P2, P3 battling away. As further back, we've got Matty McNice's had a great start. I think he was like in P7 or P8, and he's up to P4 already. Ahead of Pelosi, he's maintained P5. The two Red Bull boys are running P7 and P8 behind Kevin Cow, but everyone has gotten through cleanly apart from Ships, which I believe he just had a spin on his own there, unfortunately. As the Red Bulls are trading positions, Metro is ahead of J-Dog now. And everyone's still very bunched.
But so far, besides Ships' little incident, it looks like everyone else has gone through relatively fine. No other major incidents from what I can see. Ooh, Floydie trying to get down the inside of that AlphaTauri of Matty.
Yeah, Matty's on the high compound tyres, and Ships, Ploy and Chris is on the medium, so that's why he's looking to get past him as soon as possible to make hay while the sun shines. It seems a bit hazy in the background there, so who knows what could happen later on in the race. But now Chris is very close to the back of Ploy, but I don't think anything's going to happen just yet.
No, not yet, especially with no DRS. Yeah, that'll be course enabled on the next lap.
Cab Cow is the third and the only other car that is on the medium, so it looks like the majority of the field have opted for the hard medium strat. Currently in P6, tucked in behind Polsky. He's going to want to try and carve his way through those couple cars ahead of him as quickly as possible, or he has the tyre advantage. As we're flicking through the field, everyone's sort of evenly spread themselves out. Looks like Dash is still not back in the lobby. And Ships has a lot of work to do now.
Another great off day in the office for Alpine, I guess. Right in the back.
Ploydy's within a few temps on Matty.
Yeah, what he needs to do is get by that AlphaTauri quickly, who's on the hards, and just try to build a gap as much as he possibly can.
Ideally, before DRS would be activated, he would have wanted to get past him and pull the gap, but he's been unable to do it so far. So even when he does get past him, he's going to probably tow him around for a little while on the DRS, unless he can pull that second margin. Its predicted pit strategy is a one-stop hard to medium, or is a two-stop hard, medium, soft, which I don't think anyone will be doing unless there's a safety car. Ploy sets the fastest lap of the race at 1:35.1. The top 7 cars are still very close together, or top 6 are within DRS of each other.
Yep, might be
Metro
a bit of a
is
train here.
Just outside it.
Yeah, he's gonna be, well, he'll be alright, I think, in terms of holding on to off his teammate. He's about 9 tenths back, but he still won't get DRS. Ploy, though, he's got DRS, using a bit of battery, and yep, he's going for the move at the chicane. And
takes the inside line, and that's a beautiful move.
Yep, clean. Very nicely done.
Everyone else looks like they're maintaining position. I was going to flick onto positions gained. Ploydy's up 3 spots. Wonderful start from Ploydy. As Polsky is all over the back of... No, sorry, Kepkow's all over the back of Polsky on those medium tyres. Polsky's losing touch slightly with the leading 4.
He's got Kevin for company as well. He was also on the medium compound tire.
Yeah, so Ships is down 10 spots after that spin and the poor getaway. But everyone else is roughly where they started. And Metro's gained 3 and Ploy's gained 3, the 2 biggest winners so far. Metro is, Matty is still within half a second or so of Poity, so he's hanging on to the DRS. I think the strategy from Matty here will be just to stay where he is, use the DRS to save energy, and once the pit stops happen, he'll be on the faster tyre and try and pull away of the race. But he is closing, and he's got Chris just behind him as well, so he's got to be careful with Chris, a wily veteran.
I mean, what Matty could do
further
really
back,
is
Collateral, Purple and Doggy are having a mega strap here for P9. Mercedes and the McLaren. McLaren just gets ahead. But looks like Purple's trying to go around the outside. It's Doggy going to be able to take advantage here too.
just not close.
Oh, Doggy's going to send it to the inside on Purple. They're still side by side. He's got the outside line. Purple's on the inside. Oh, he has a moment there.
Lost it. Still kept it control at least, but that's unfortunate. Lose a bit of time. I was gonna mention though too, what Matty could do really is just, oh, never mind.
Chris and Matty. Chris got Matty.
I know. As soon as I was about to say something about Matty, what to do.
Oh, Chris had a big tank over there.
Lost it.
He held onto it, but he's lost that position back. Oh, that was a massive tank sub. That save of the day from Chris W1 there.
I was going to say what Matty could do is just stick behind Plotty, save up some battery as best he can. He doesn't really need to do anything necessarily, just because he's in a pretty decent spot. Really just hang on.
So it seems like there's about 3 or 4 races happening. There's the leading pack of 6 drivers, and they seem to have dropped the Red Bull Duro of the current championship leader Metro and P3 man J-Dog a bit. Doesn't seem like this track is suiting the driving style and the car as well as some of the earlier races. A long race yet to come, but a couple seconds off the DRS pack. And then behind them there's the Lateral, Doggy and Purple battle, and Ships on the recovery drive. As back up towards front we got a yellow, it's a Ferrari.
That's for
Doggy.
Ferrari, Junkyard Dog, yep.
Doggy's had a spin. Get back in there, Doggy. Matty is just holding on to the DRS of Poity. Kev Cow has gotten past Pawlowski at some point as well. So everyone's just sort of settling in for the long haul now, I believe.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, poor Donkey's got a 3-second time penalty to add to his wounds, unfortunately. Yeah, so far it's just a little train so far between the top 6. No, nothing too crazy, at least for now, apart from what that little moment that Chris had at turns 1 and 2 a couple laps ago. Oh, Doggy's
had another spin, yeah. His tyres are giving up the ghost.
Quite unfortunate for Doggy. You'll need a safety car really to get back into this race.
Yep, and as we mentioned, safety cars at France are a rare species. You probably need like a couple car incident really to be able to find the wall or DNF here. There's hardly anywhere where you're close enough to get into the wall.
Yeah. I mean, the closest you can maybe bend into the wall is like the exit of turn 6. Like I mentioned, it's a very tricky area of traction if you're not careful with the throttle. Very easy to lose the car there.
Poy's looking very comfortable in the lead at the moment, just slowly building or maintaining that gap over Matty, but everyone's just hanging in there.
Yep, just in the little train. What do you expect of Formula One besides with these DRS trains?
Yeah, well, it's like 3.5 seconds between P1 and P6. Well, I think Pelosi's just had a bit of a moment in the background and he's lost some time. Yeah, Pelosi just dropped out of DRS.
Ouch. Yeah, that he needs to get back in there in order to be with this pack.
Natty's putting Chris under some pressure now. Looks like Natty's a bit faster, he's on the battery.
Yep. But Chris has got more straight line speed compared to him. From the way it looks.
Yeah, Chris has conserved more battery to this point of the GP as well.
Only a bit wide there.
Maddie and Maddie and Ploy have exactly the same battery level. Well, they did a moment ago, at about 60%.
Matty.
There's Maddie, there's Natty, and there's Metro. Too many M's and N's.
Seems like Ploy's losing a bit of ground, well, just a tiny bit. I'm guessing now that we've gone to the point where maybe the hard tires are starting to become more the effective tire than the mediums.
Yeah, I think the crossover point would be about now, or maybe within the next couple laps, and then we'll definitely flick towards the hard compound.
Now the Mistral straight, the RS Open again for Matty. He's a little close, but I don't think close enough. No, not close.
So back down the field, Ships is about to get the move done on lateral, I think, for P9 on his recovery drive. And he gets that move done in the DRS straight. Nicely done.
Yep.
Pelosi must have had another moment, pushing to get back within the DRS train because he's lost another second to the leading pack. So it's now a five car train instead of a 6 car train.
See, 4.5 tenths close between the top two. Now what does Matty do in this situation? Does he go for it? I don't think he will on this occasion. It looks like Ploy got the better exits.
Looks like they're both conserving their energy very nicely indeed. Still hovering about 60% each. Chris maybe slowly reeling them in as well.
Alright, staying through turn 6, up towards 7. Oh, Ploy. Oh, I thought he lost the back. I guess it might have been a lag on my end. It looked like he was about to drift off. Same story.
And well, seems like they're all going to stay where they are.
Yep, so this is kind of what you see in France on some occasions. Where you get these sort of trains and no one's just not close enough to do anything, not close enough to overtake or anything. Nothing. Just pretty much stagnant.
It's hard enough to overtake one car sometimes, but when you're the third or fourth or fifth car in a queue, you're pretty well stuck. I think it might be time for one of the medium runners to start thinking about maybe undercutting very shortly and go on to the hards, get some clean air. I'm going to predict Chris to be the first pit up, or cab cow, to try and undercut the rivals. Maybe from lap 11.
Probably. Well, we'll have to wait and see. But Play still maintain the lead, at least for now.
Natty got closer to Chris, but not close enough.
Deckard the crest stuff ain't in there, I will say that.
Chris is still yet to win a race in PRL, I believe. He got very close in Bahrain in the season opener, and probably got screwed out on a few occasions with some contact from some other drivers, but He's improving all the time, Chris. He's looking for the elusive first win.
He'll come. Hopefully he'll for his sake.
I'm trying to remember if Ploy has won a race or not, and I can't off the top of my head.
You probably have to go back to the previous results. I can look for you if you like.
That's all good. I know not this season, but in the previous years, maybe. Ooh, Ploy has had a spin. And he's fallen down the order in the P6, just as I was talking up his chances of winning. Well, he's still got a chance to win, but it's made it a lot harder now. So now, Maddie takes the lead. It's Chris and Kevin Cow stay out. Yep.
Yeah, he'll get off of those tires. They're probably too hot. Fair enough. Chris has got a 3-second time penalty. Yeah, that might hamper him in the race. So. Yeah. That's one little killer about this track, his track limits.
Yep, I think the mediums are going off now. Chris is struggling to keep onto the back of Maddie. And he's got Natty all over the back of him. He's in a Natty sandwich.
Oh, he's got to get by. And just like that, goes up to the second place.
How are the Red Bull boys going? Still running P6, P7, so that's going to be solid points for them, but yeah, probably not quite where they pitched themselves being after the mega start to the season. I think they're leading the constructors by a very big margin, because they're running P1 and P3 in the Drivers' Championship at the moment. Yeah, does Chris or Kevin Cow pit this time around? Get off those medium tyres. Chris does. Kevin doesn't. Let's see where this puts Kevin back out to. Probably around about the purple doggy gap, it's going to be my guess.
He's coming out of the pits. Chris is. Ploidy's coming towards the final couple of corners. I think Chris will manage to stay ahead of him. I think only just. Yeah, he will get ahead. There's purple going by. Yep.
Oh, how's that for a guess? I said purple or doggy gap, and that's exactly where he ended up. Okay, so at the front, Natty McNasty is chasing after Matty AU. He's not quite in the DRS zone. Looks like Matty's starting to lose a bit more of his battery. He's down to about 50% now. And Natty has pretty much used it all.
Down the back straight.
We've got Chris trying to, on his outlap, make his way through past purple. Let's see if he gets it done here.
Yeah, he should be able to. Yep, doesn't look like purple's probably about 5 for it.
Kev Cow is now in the pits. Now let's see where Kev Cow comes out in relation to Chris. Could be very close, depending on how much time Chris lost behind the purple snap there.
Yeah, it's a bit of a long pit lane.
Chris is coming up to the last corner now. Kev Cow has been released from his pit stop, trundling down the pit lane.
I think Chris will get him.
He does.
Yep. And of course he's got to get those tires up to temperature as well. Takes time to do so with these hards.
He gets out just in front of Doggy. And Doggy lets Ploy pass. Some team orders from Ferrari there, I believe. Ooh, 40 late on the brakes on warm tyres, got very close to the back of Kevin Cow there.
And he just needs to get by Purple quickly and then try to get to Chris as his target for Kevin Cal, rather, sorry.
Let's look at penalties. So Chris, Kevin and Doggy have 3-second penalties for track limits, but other than that, that's it. That's quite good for France, because France is notorious for track limits. As Kev Cow is... Oh shit, that was so close.
Deary me. That was close. And nearly had a collision there with Purple. Oh, hello.
What the fuck happened there? Oh.
What on earth?
I think there's lag. I think that was lag from Purple, maybe.
Or was it from Floydie too? Because he looked like he sent it too, like out of nowhere.
I don't know, I didn't quite see that very well.
Okay, it's definitely my... Okay, it's probably my connection issue then. Because he was like further back on my end, and then he just sent it down the inside of the penultimate corner at Kevin Cal. Well, Purple just lets him through. Gets off the racetrack. Doesn't bother fighting him or Doggy.
Well, Doggy, I think Doggy is in Purple's fight today, but the others with new tyres who have already pitted aren't really in the same race at the moment, unless a safety car or something intervenes later on. But Ships has had a great comeback drive to get himself back up into P6, but of course I think a lot of these boys still need to pit. Let's look at the pit stops. Yes,
it's the top 7 that's still yet to pit.
It's only the guys aside in the mediums who've stopped: Chris, Porty and Kevin Cow.
Metro's in.
Ships is all over the back of J-Dog. Metro is in after 15 laps on the hard compound tyre.
Where does Metro come out of all this, though? See, Lateral and Chris are coming down the main straight. I'm sure they'll get him easily. Play will too. Same with Kevin. I pretty much assume. Yep. Comes out behind. Ooh, just behind Purple. But he's on the medium compound tire, so he will have the tire advantage.
Yeah, he's only about 3 seconds or so behind Kev Cow, so that's probably his aim to start with.
Just well overtakes J-Duck at the chicane for 4th. Of course, like we mentioned, that these guys have yet to make a pit stop.
I think Chris has gotten past Lateral as well.
Yep, he has at the chicane for 6th.
Now, leaders in the pit lane, and yep, so is P2 man. Maddie and Addy in the pits together, and Polsky as well. What Ships and J-Dog going to do? Ships is going around again. J-Dog is in the pits.
Mediums for Maddie, and I'm probably assuming for everybody else. Yep. Mediums for Natty as well, and Polofsky. Alright, where's Chris out of all this situation though? Maddie's coming out of the pits now. And ooh, it's gonna be close.
Ooh, that's super close.
Dear me, that was close. Too close. But Maddie's in front, that's the crucial thing for him.
He's got to try and warm up those tyres as fast as possible.
Yep. Metro, meanwhile, overtaking Polofsky there for 7th place at turn 3.
Yeah, looks like that Matty's already getting towards the temperature window he's after.
Yep, and he doesn't need to worry too much about Chris because he's got a 3-second time penalty unless Matty gets on himself.
It's quite a big gap back to him, but I think his biggest threat... Oh wait, never mind, Metro's got a time penalty now as well. Yeah, to be honest, I think he doesn't really have many threats at the moment.
No. Probably just needs to run his own race, and that's about it, as Ships now goes into the pit lane. He's going to be the last to pits. Or actually, no, he'll be the second to last to pit because his AI team has yet to make a pit stop.
Dash's AI has decided to keep going. And whereabouts the ship's going to come back up. There's J-Dog coming down the straight. It's going to be close between J-Dog and Ships. Just behind.
In ninth. But still, after all that spin, though, it's not a bad recovery for Ships. A pretty decent recovery.
There's a scrap happening here between Metro and Pulowski. Heading into the DRS straight now. And further up, Natty's about to make the move on Chris into the chicane, and he pulls it up nicely. And looks like Pulowski's done the same on Metro. Pulowski hasn't got any penalties as of yet, and he's the first of the medium runners to not have a penalty, so Pulowski's going to be making the charge towards the podium, I believe.
Yeah, because as it stands right now, he is at a position to at least claim, I think, 4th, but yeah, no, he's going to need to catch up a little bit on Floydie. Yeah, he just needs to put his head down and get some good laps.
Let's go back to the tyres, okay. Yeah, Chris, Floydie and Cab Cow are on the high compound tyres, everyone else is on the mediums. And also the high compound tyres are a few laps older, obviously, than everyone's newer mediums. So, Pulowski has about a 5-lap advantage over Floydie.
Yeah, it seems like Matty is just he's starting to become build a more of a comfortable margin. He's got a 2-second margin to Natty, so he's looking quite sharp there. Won the sprint so far. He's got fastest up as well, so he's on for a full complement of points.
He got pole as well. He's looking for the Grand Slam. Well, he did get pole.
The Grand Slam also include.
Sorry,
wouldn't that also include leading every lap of the race?
That is a good question, which I'm unequipped to answer.
Either way, though, it's still a solid result for Natty.
It's still very, very impressive.
Absolutely.
But there's 9 laps to go. Anything could happen. Just need to keep this focus up.
Just keep the head down. That's the main thing. Obviously, that's what everyone will want to be doing in this sort of situation.
Alright, so the boys with the penalties all have 3 seconds at the moment. So there's no one with like 25 seconds worth of penalties as of yet. As I say that, Purple Snack picks up his first 3 seconds. So the other boys will probably be riding the luck on their warnings as well, so it could come into play later for sure. Pulowski's closed the gap to the fight between Floydie and Kev Cow. He's now within DRS. But here's the problem that Pulowski has, is being the third in queue, even with the newer tyres and DRS. It's still going to be quite challenging to carve your way through DRS trains, even with just 2 cars.
Doggy picks up a 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings. I think that's his
second,
I believe. Yes. He's got 6 seconds worth of time penalties.
Further back down the field, J-Dog and Ships have been battling away. I think Ships would have passed him as he came out behind him and after the pit stop in the last lap or two. Ooh, this is getting very close up here now, the battle for P4.
Yeah, between Kevin and Floyd, this is a battle for position because they both got 3-second time penalties. See if Kevin can get close. Floyd pulls to the right side, tries to defend, cover the driving line, racing line. But yeah, now Kevin's not close enough to attack.
Just going to ride on board with Pulsey, see what sort of exit he can get. Oh, he just picked up a 3-second penalty himself. He ran wide there.
As it got onto him.
Alright, so now this is 44th position between all three of them. Penalties won't come into account for these three at the moment. He's on the battery, Pelosi. Kev Cow is flashing.
Yep.
Going to around the outside.
Oh, can he make the stick though around the outside? Round 10, he's got it done. Very nice.
Beautiful overtake there from Pelosi. Nice driving from Kev Cow too to takes two to tango.
Well, they gave each other room, and fair credit, it made it work. So, yeah.
Frees Pelosi up to try and get the move done on Porty now. Don't think it's going to be quite close enough on this straight. We've got a yellow flag.
Yellows. Metro. Losing control at the exit of turn 15.
It's dropped him behind Ships and his teammate, I believe. And then he picks up a 3-second penalty for his trouble. There seems to be a lot of compounding errors in this race. As soon as you spin or something, you pick up a penalty straight after. So a bad few corners there from Metro's point of view. Meanwhile, back onto Pawlowski. He's winning a few temps. Got DRS, he's on the NG. Ploy goes to the inside to try and break the toe. Okay, they're going to be on the brakes together. Oh, great racing. I left each other room. No contact. That made me a bit nervous for a moment there because they were going like 40 side by side into the braking zone and it gets pretty tight there.
I think Laddle's had a moment too because he's just lost position to Doggy there. Meanwhile, at the front though, Matty's still got a comfortable margin. He's got a 3-second lead. Doesn't need to worry too much.
He's got a 3-second lead. He's got a fair bit of battery in the tank. Just cruising towards the finish line at this point in time.
Yeah. Although he is on 2 warnings, so that's the one thing he has to be careful of.
Oh.
Oh, for God's sake.
Can you
as I
check
looked at the race
Matty as
director,
well? Or what's up?
Oh, I've got the stupid, the race director glitch. I got to back out of this. Okay, yeah, I'll rejoin the session. Yeah, because there's a glitch where, like, if I go onto the race director, you look at, like, you know, someone's lap times and whatnot, you back out, and then all of a sudden it gives you, like, the graphic as if, like, the race had finished.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah.
Well, I haven't encountered that one myself yet. No, it's something new you learn every day with new broken thing of this game. As Porty is getting very close back to Kowalski, but not quite close enough on the run into the chicane. He's got a bit more battery, or they're about the same battery now actually. As he gets out of the tow. Looks like these two are going to battle towards the end of the race. At the moment, Aston Martin are sitting P3 and P4, so this is a very solid day at the office for them. As well as AlphaTauri have a double top 5 with Kevcow in the lead, with Maddie in the lead and Kevcow in P5. Oh. Shit. I think Porty had a disconnect and his AI is pitting him. Wow.
Oh, yes. Oh, he has disconnected. Yeah, he's ghosted.
Well, he's been royally done over there.
Well, he's been robbed there. That's just pure robbery.
Man, that just makes you think, why do we still play this game sometimes, and that stuff can happen, and does happen all the time.
It's a repetitive cycle of F1. Well, F1 gaming is of lately.
The racing's fun when the game works.
Yep. Agreed.
So Kevcow is going for it on Pawlowski into the chicane, and he takes back P4. There we go. There's a bit scruffy exit there. Pawlowski might try and get back in. Oh, he's going to be absolutely fuming.
Yeah, well, he's not going to be impressed with where the car ended up. I don't blame him for if that's the case. Ooh, Pawlowski tried to go for him on Kevcow.
Pawlowski had a bit of a dummy there. We thought about for a moment and decided against it. Pawlowski is another very wise and experienced driver. You rarely see silly dives or anything from him.
Oh, Purple's got a 3-second penalty. Yeah, and there you go. Floyd's now back into his car. Good.
Well, you can still pick up some points, but it won't be anywhere near where he was.
No. Unfortunate though. That's really, really unfortunate. Fortunate. I'll try to get ninth though away from lateral as I'm watching him. Soft tires at the work and gets by. Like that.
Just don't understand why the AI thought it was a good idea to pit P4, P5 with 3 laps to go on the soft tires, man.
Because the AI have a freaking intelligence the size of a walnut, and they've been that way for a long time.
Yep. 2 Red Bull boys and nose to tail now. Looks like Ships has had a brilliant recovery drive and has broken away from the Red Bull fellas. 5 seconds up to P6.
He might be trying to close this.
Ships will be Ships is one of the faster guys in Tier 2 in my opinion, but he just needs to limit those spins happening a bit too often. He's super quick, but just needs that consistency to mount the championship challenge that I know he can do. This battle for P4 is going to run all the way to the line, I think, between Kevcow and Pawlowski. Top 3 are looking pretty settled. Metro's picked up another 3-second penalty.
For multiple warnings, pretty much. This play does get fastest lap, so at least he'll get some more points added on to his credit.
Yeah, it takes the fastest lap away from Matty AU. He'll have to just settle for 40 points out of a possible 41, I suppose. I'm sure everyone else will be feeling devastated for him.
That's 3 more laps left, so yeah, we're pretty much at the point where the safety car won't come out pretty much with this remaining laps. So it's just pretty much the race now to the flag.
So Matty is about, or is currently 25 points behind championship leader in Metro. Looks like Metro's going to get P8. So yeah, he's going to close in a lot. There's already like 5 people within 10 points. I think Maddie's going to be joining that party very shortly after this race result.
Oh, Chris has picked up another penalty.
Oh, and he's spun it on the second last lap.
No.
Out of turn 2, he's lost a stack of positions there. He's just bombed the podium.
Oh no, that's unfortunate for Chris. Yeah, he was definitely in the fight for the. He was in a comfortable third place.
He was like 5 seconds ahead, I think.
Yeah, that spin just threw it all away.
Now it's down to Pelowski to try and salvage the podium for Aston Martin. Or is it going to be a double podium for AlphaTauri of Kev Cow and Matty Ayu, along with the Haas of Natty? It's a blue flag getting out of the way. I think that's Dash's ghost car.
Yeah.
Well, not really out of the way that well of Pelowski, but...
Well, eventually.
Well, Ships has just gotten right onto the back of his slot too. Like Ships could still get a podium after he was like 10 seconds behind the pack after turn 1. That's some serious pace.
Yeah, that's outstanding recovery drive. Very outstanding from Ships.
As we now enter the final lap of the race.
Well, looks like he's gonna try to go for something. He's close. Looks. Oh, but he doesn't commit.
It does put Pelowski on a bit of a bad line through those couple of corners, but it's nothing you can really do to get past. Oh, you get very close to the back of him there. I think this is helping Kev Cow to hold him to P3, or we got a bad exit there.
Out of the chicane, he's close to Ships.
There's probably only really one more genuine overtaking opportunity on the run around these next couple of corners here. Is he going to close in the gap? Is Pelowski going to close in the gap on Kev Cow? Oh, he's pretty much push him.
Oh, he
goes
comes
to the inside line.
Oh, not quite close.
Oh, it's a little bit loose there.
And Matty will take the checkered flag, and he wins the French Grand Prix. A superb drive from him, and now he will take second place.
As on the run to the line, still close between Ships and Pelowski, but Pelowski holds on to it. Kev Cow takes P3. Yeah, sorry, I completely missed the leader's finish caution there. I was intensely watching the battle for P4, but yeah, Matty Ayu, just a dominating performance today in France. Victory in the sprint and the feature. Takes 40 points out of a possible 41. P2 for Matty McNasty, P3 for Kevin Cow. Great drive for Kevin Cow and AlphaTauri with a double podium. Pelowski, P4. Solid drive, awesome drive. Ships, what a recovery. Less than a tenth off P4 after being sideways at turn 1. J-Dog in P6. And so on and so forth. Chris, you got to feel for Chris. He was a few laps away from the podium from P3 there, and the car got away from it. I will contact the podium sitters.
Sounds good.
So we had Matty, Natty, and Kepka. Just want to run through your thoughts on the GP for a moment, or if you have anything to say while I do the inviting.
Yep. Well, wasn't a bad race overall. It was a good, some good racing here and there, but kind of lived up to France's reputation in the real life sort of ways. Not the most exciting racetrack, but we still had some good battles nonetheless. Uh, but congrats to Matty though on his victory. Just absolutely superb. And yeah, there you go. There's the full
Got
race
Maddie.
results.
I'm not seeing the other guys. I think they're appearing offline.
I mean, yeah, let's see. Matty won the whole thing. Natty got second, and actually Ships actually is the got third overall in the whole thing.
Oh wait, Natty McNasty's PRL name McNasty, isn't he? That's why I was looking at. I was looking at N, not P. Alright, I've sent the invite to the other two.
And I love that one bet as well. Sorry I didn't see that. But hello.
Just gotta send the invite to Natty. Apologies, everyone. Oh, man, it's appearing offline too. I'll scroll through like 500 names.
You gotta love it when you try to podium views and like people just appear offline. Can be a bit frustrating sometimes.
Actually, I might not actually have Natty, to be honest. My apologies. Anyway, we'll start the interview now. We've got Maddie AU, who has joined the party. Congratulations, Maddie. That was a dominant performance, really. We on the threat early in the DRS train, but you managed your tyres and battery and just had a superior strategy to like Plordy and that you were battling with to start with. How was your race, man?
Yeah, it's pretty funny. I actually had 2 warnings pretty early in the race, so I was just trying to
Not get a
not get
warning.
the third and really just it was just trying to manage it through. And I thought the hard to medium strategy was alright, but I nearly actually got behind Chris and I pitted. So
Yeah, that was super
yeah,
close when you came
other
out
than
of the pit
that, went
lane.
pretty well.
Yep.
Yeah, I still think I would have got him, but I just didn't want to be around him for too long because it would have held me up.
Yeah. Especially with the tyre advantage that you had on the second stint. Natty pushed you pretty hard with hanging with a few seconds of you, but I think you just managed the ERS a little bit better than he did. And yeah, so it must have been stressful going for that many laps on 2 warnings, trying to not pick up the third because he might have been able to take away that win from you just from that.
Yeah, I think the only thing that I was disappointed was the
Shit. I've just done something I shouldn't have. My apologies, I just joined the party I shouldn't have joined. I was trying to invite someone and pressed the wrong button. Anyway, awesome race, Maddie, and congratulations on that. We have Kev Cow in the house.
Yeah, man. And
How's it?
Maddie, I don't know how he got so far ahead, but
Well, it seemed like yourself and Pulossi were going hammer and Tom for pretty much that entire second stint.
oh
How did you
man,
find that race?
the whole sprint race and the whole main race was intense. Like every lap, crazy. Like there was about 3 or 4 of us about the same speed, I guess. So it was intense the whole time. So great racing though, but yeah. And I got super lucky. I don't know if you saw it, but a ghosted car gave me a DRS on the second to last lap. So that helped me stay ahead to get third.
Nice. How did your
Yep.
setup feel? You feel pretty comfortable with it? And
Yeah, I think too much fuel. I think I started a lap over, and probably a little too much. I I didn't keep an eye on my fuel too much because I was in such an intense battle the whole race. I couldn't even look at
Take your eyes
stuff
off
as
your
far
track.
as fuel. Yeah, it was like I don't think I had one lap that I could relax really, pretty much.
Do you have
So it
any
was fun.
questions for Kevkel, Katie?
No, not too much. I mean, other than that, it seems like you pretty much kept it well in terms of pace. At least you minimized mistakes. But what actually? What, I bet you've kind of like delighted, but I guess maybe a bit bummed for Chris after he spun at turn two. I mean, you
Yeah,
probably wouldn't expect him.
I saw behind me something happened. Right, that was behind me. I think if I remember, it was hard to remember, but yeah, I think he was behind me and he spun on the last turn, right?
I was
I think
towards
it
the
was
end of
turn
like it
two.
was
He
like
did.
2 laps. He was like P3 with a couple laps to go, and I think he spun
Uh,
out turn 2.
oh, that was way in front of me. That's right. I couldn't see what happened. Yeah, I
Yeah, I
saw
think
something happen to the guys in front of me.
he just spun
Yeah,
on his own,
they
I
were so
believe,
far
because
ahead that.
the top 3 guys had a bit of
Mhm.
separation between each other. It was, your battle with Pulowski was the main battle we're focusing on towards the end, and then the ships came out of nowhere at the end to put you guys under even more pressure. Well, recovery drive
Right.
from ships
Yeah, me
there.
and
He was
Pulaski.
sideways at turn
Yeah.
1. He was like 10 seconds behind the pack. And he clawed his way back up to nearly on the podium, or 4th.
Yeah, there was some intense racing there. That's for
All right.
sure.
Well, good stuff, man. I'll let you go.
All right.
We do have Natty
Right.
McNasty
Thanks, guys.
in
Yeah.
the chat now.
GG there, man.
Hey, Natty, how you going, man? Hello, Natty, you there?
He's muted for me.
Now, can you hear me? Sorry.
Yep. There
Yeah,
he
now
is.
we're
Sorry.
good.
My
All
bad.
good. All right. Well, a race for yourself, another race in PRL and another podium. It's starting to become a consistent threat at the front of the field in Tier 2. Want to talk us through your race and how you felt out there?
Yep. Yeah, I mean, it was a really bad qualifying, that's for sure. I don't know why I had no pace in qualifying. It was just really bad. I was able to make a couple of spots in the sprint, which helped a little bit, and then in the main race, I got a good start. I think a couple guys in front of me, I think Ships and Poloski or someone got a really bad start.
Yeah, ships went backwards
So
at the
that kind of
start.
helped, but
Mhm.
yeah,
Second, and you
yeah.
gained a couple
So
2 or 3 spots off the start, I think. So that was a great start for yourself in
yeah,
the
so
main
that kind of
race.
helped. Yeah, and
Yeah, I
then
did
once kind of
also
went on to the
see.
mediums.
Yeah, sorry. I did
Oh,
also see in
sorry, my
qualifying
bad.
that you're down the order a little bit in like 8th or 9th, which was a bit surprising. But you definitely found the pace when it counted, when the points were offered in the main race. And how did you find the opening like DRS train and battle with the top 5 or 6 guys? That went on for quite a while then.
Yeah, it was. I mean, I was on the hard, so I guess it. I know that some of the guys in front of me had the medium, so I kind of was just gonna wait until their tires went off,
Yep.
and then let them pit and then go for the mediums. And I know that once I put the mediums on, I would be probably faster than them. And I think that's why me and Maddie kind of ended up pulling away pretty far from the rest of the pack. You know, those mediums definitely were a lot faster than those hards. I mean, I was kind of concerned, you know, maybe was there a chance that the hards would come in at the end, but me and Maddie kind of, you know, were able to
You
pull
build
a
a
big enough
pretty
gap, but I
massive
never
gap,
really
yeah.
got. Yeah, but I never was able to get close enough to Maddie. Unfortunately, I think we were just kind of like stuck at like 2.5 to 3 second apart, and I just couldn't get it
Just
anywhere
had a
close
bit
to
more
DRS.
pace when or was able to pull a gap at one point and didn't look back from his point of view, I guess.
Yeah, I mean,
Sorry.
Sorry, go ahead.
Awesome race, man. I'll let you go now. I'll end this Shrimolzul interview for myself, and I can't wait for Danny Rick to be back in the hot seat next week, so I don't have to do this again, hopefully. Anyway, awesome result from yourself, and thank you to KD for joining us in the Combox today. It was a pretty long event when you have a sprint race in there as well.
Yeah. No, thank you for having me. I appreciate it. Yeah, Ozzy.
All right. Well, let me just go on to this thing. And yeah, thank you everyone for watching. It was an awesome race from the Tier 2 boys. Check out the Tier 1 race tomorrow, same time, different place. Well, it's going to be the same track, but it'll be on the main PRL channel. Danny Rick will be back in the comms box with possibly Hellbent, but I'm not 100% sure on that. But thanks for watching. Thanks again for all the races. And Katie helping us out. Catch you next time. See you, boys.